G'day guys, Laurie and Rice. I'm just trying to find a spot where it's not so sunny I can't see. David, Mason, g'day. Charles, here I am. My phone's locked on vertical for some reason, so it's working now. G'day Josh, how are you mate? Here with Tig, the tiger snake. So hi Tig. He'd wave, but he can't, he's a snake. How are you going? Lovely morning. Yeah, it's a lot nicer than yesterday. It was pretty wet here yesterday. Yeah, how's everybody else? Where are we watching from? Oop, I'm bringing it a bit closer on. Utah. Hello. Other side of the world from us, it's 8 o'clock in the morning here. So we're pretty well set up. I've got a few little things to clean up. Cold as balls, yeah. Well, I say it's cold here, but Australians' idea of cold's probably not the same as yours. We look like big sooks. From Riverland, South Australia, plenty of wombats out there. Hey mate, from Vic, where in Victoria? I'm in Ballarat today, obviously. Cold and snowy, yeah. Yeah, we're not, well, I complain about cold. I'm complaining about like 10 degrees Celsius, which I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit. But yeah, it's cold enough. That's an awesome looking snake. Don't know if you saw, but had one in the backyard. I did see yours. I got confused because I saw the snake on your t-shirt through the tub and thought, that's not a tiger snake. But yeah, I did see your photos. Stewie came and caught it, I'm pretty sure. The Nongs, the Dandenongs. I grew up, well, not quite the Dandenongs, but eastern suburbs of Melbourne. So I'm familiar with them. I've been up there quite a few times. The land of lizards, snakes, scorpions, and black widows. I've got to visit one day. Arizona would be amazing. That being said, we're pretty spoilt for reptiles here in Australia as well. Yeah, there's a wombat sanctuary not far. Yeah, there's the Australian Wombat Organisation, Bridget Stevens, who I'd love to visit for a video one day. Camberwell, but going to see some mates at Amazing Amazon. Say hi to the guys at Amazing Amazon. Some of them might know me. Yeah, I do know some of the guys there. I don't think Ben's there anymore, but there's a few other blokes there that I don't know super well, but they probably know who I am and I know who they are. They do, yeah. The guys over there, I'm guessing. Hang on. Yeah, I'd say Ben's bees. Yeah, I know Ben reasonably well. The other guys, Vince and a few of them I've met a couple of times. Mostly through the VHS, the Reptile Club. Being shy, Tig. Old school Benny boy. Yeah, is he still there or is he just a beekeeper these days? Nah, yeah, I didn't think he was there anymore. He'd left twice and he'd come back. And, but yeah, no, he's a very good bloke, but he knows his stuff, that's for sure. Bred some very cool species. Yeah, I knew he was doing bees, I just wasn't sure if it was still a sideline or a full-time gig. Oh, I suppose, could you show us the setup? Yeah, I could show you the setup. I'll put Tig away and pop him back under a sheet so that the tubs don't get too sunny. And we'll have a look, eh? You'll have to excuse the rough job, but so all the Venomous stuff's behind me. We've got them under a sheet because obviously plastic tubs can get pretty warm in the sun. And I'll spin it around, we'll have a look, eh? So we have, g'day Declan, how are you? Little ridge-tailed goanna. Excuse the glass, it's fogging up just because it's just starting to warm up for the day. We got two Jackie dragons, a water dragon, and a baby blue tongue. We've got Frank, the Major Mitchell. Say hi, Frank. Dancy, dancy, dancy. Yeah. We got a little squirrel glider, who's just a big fluffy bum hanging out. And of course, everybody's favourite is fast asleep. Hey, Boo. So, gives you a bit of an idea what it looks like. Snake bite kit's out, and so we've got the snake pit. A few things people can touch and pat. So yeah, it's going to be a busy day. We were flat out yesterday, and I had some help, and today I'm by myself. So it should be even bigger. Hang on, I'll find a spot I can sit this. Oop. Still get the hang of this live stream thing. So yeah, it was pretty flat out yesterday. We had, I don't know, thousands of people through, which is good. But today I'm by myself, so I've got my brekkie bag and my big bottle of water, and I'm not going to be able to leave this spot until 7:30 tonight. So, in it for the long haul. What's everybody else doing today? I saw somebody's going herping. It's good weather for it today. Truly love the Amazing Amazon people. Yeah, they're a very good crew. There's not too many reptile pet shops that I suppose recommend, and Amazing Amazon's one of them. Do I have set times for Ven shows? Yeah, so I'm doing the full Ven show at 11, 1, 3 and 5. So we've got an Eastern Brown, a King Brown or Mulga, a Death Adder, a Red Belly and a Tiger here today. Plus I've got pythons for people to pat and hold, and a few different lizards. Yeah, the wombat. If you want to see something really cute, hold on. We're still here. How's this for cuteness? Little ringtail possum. Love to visit Australia. Yeah, you'll have to visit. There's some pretty cool reptiles here. If you get down here for a video, you should take a proper herp. Yeah, I would love to get out there. Like I said, it's just a matter of time. Obviously, I don't get away very often. I have a lot of animals, and when I am away, I'm away with my animals doing shows. But I'm licensed to do shows in South Australia, so I might have to find some work over there for a weekend and make a trip of it. But yeah, I really like to visit Bridget, because obviously, if you watch our videos, you'll know we're wombat fanatics. So it'd be great to visit the wombat organisation and do some videos there, show the work that they do and these sorts of things. You're right there. So yeah, it's starting to get busier. There's a few people trickling in. Not open to the public until 9:30, but the thing about what I do, I have to set up first, because when everybody else arrives, they've got their kids and they're bugging them around, so they say, go and check out the reptile people. So usually I've got people from the very beginning. You're right there. I saw you at the VHS buying, yeah, I bought some Timbanburra Stimson's pythons. So I got them, I've got some other South Australian Stimson's pythons. Yeah, a few. I'd like a couple more. I enjoy the little guys. I think they should be a mainstay of the hobby. You know, carpet pythons are great. So many carpet pythons outgrow the people's ability to house them. Every carpet python I have, with the exception of 1 or 2, was donated pets that somebody's lost interest in. So yeah, it's a bit sad. I do have, speaking of carpet pythons, a new animal. If you'd like to see one, I'll have to put the possum away and wash my hands. A spotted python, yeah, spotted pythons are Australian. They're found up the east coast, from the top end of New South Wales right up to tip of Cape York. So yeah, how's this guy for a pretty snake? It was actually donated to us. Like I said, I get a lot of carpet pythons handed in, and it's his first day on full sort of rotation in the show team. So he's done a few birthdays in schools, which are smaller, more controlled environments, but this is his first big show. Saved a little baby ringtail a few weeks ago from 2 crows. Been told by the Joel who took him and taking John Mason. Yeah, no, Glad is doing all right. We need to look after our, hang on. But I find carpet's issue as well. Yeah, I love carpets, and like they should always be a mainstay, but the amount of like 10-year-old kids who get carpet pythons, we're going to move out of home and then mum doesn't want them. That's our Big Mac, our biggest Centralian carpet python. Kids moved out of home, left it with their parents. The parents looked after it, but they didn't take it out. It wasn't their snake. They weren't snake people. So for 2 years, he wasn't taken out of an enclosure. And this guy's much the same story. He belonged to an older lady out near me, who's got 30, 40 snakes. And she can't look after them. So we're actually, piece by piece, she's donating her entire collection. We've got 2 of these guys, a really mean body olive. If anybody wants a horrible olive, hit me up, because we're going to be giving him a good home, but he's no good for show. So he's either going to just live out his days in peace at our place, or we'll find a home for him. A couple of black snakes, yeah, fair few other things, black-headed python, lots of stuff. So yeah, a lot of our reptiles are donation seeking good homes. But this fella here actually still needs a name. Like I said, it's his first, there's a raven in the background, and Frank, our Major Mitchells, is talking to it. Ballarat took in the body olive from LHS. Yeah, well, I'm at Ballarat now. I could ask them. Julia, the curator from Ballarat, was actually going to drop by and see us if she's free for today or tomorrow. So, yeah, I'll ask them if they'd like one. Seagulls and all the rides starting. You're currently looking for one. Have you got big olives? Keep big olives? Only thing is, like I said, he's going to be needing a home, but because he's being donated to me, the lady's very fussy where he goes. So he's certainly up for adoption. I'll have to keep him for a little while first. 2 big ladies, cool. That's right, well, this fella's a boy. So yeah, stay in touch. I'll keep him for him for a little while, just might want to make sure he's all clear. Everything's all good with him, and then yeah, he'll be looking for a home. Unless by some miracle he tames down, but I've gone to this lady's house every fortnight for the last 2 years, and he's a very food-orientated boy. Love the top ends, yeah, she's a very cool snake. Or he, this one I should say. He's actually, like I said, needing a name. So if anybody comes up with a name for a carpet python, let me know. 11 people out there. You be nice, I know I smell like possum. Can wash my hands, but I can't really change my shirt every time. Who else is out there? What's everybody up to? Visiting Amazon and going herping and fishing and... Somebody's at the Sonora Deserts. Yeah, I'd like to go visit there. What show am I at now? I'm at Ballarat Agricultural Show. So I was here all day yesterday. I'm here today until 7 and tomorrow until 4:30. So it's a big 3 days. Such a great love for food nuts. Yeah, when I was just keeping them for my own love, I sort of didn't mind a bit of attitude in my snakes. And while of course I still love all my snakes very dearly, the issue with starting a business is suddenly you've got to justify everybody. Yeah, Ballarat Show. Yeah, thank you, Mason. It should be good. It's one of our biggest shows for the year, 3 days in a row. So it helps keep our animals fed and warm for a little while. But I was at Swan Hill Show last week, which is 4 hours drive away. Ballarat Show this week. Next week I'm down in Melbourne for Equitana. I've got a weekend off. We're going to go see a horse show. And then back into reptiles until Christmas. So yeah, I'm going to enjoy next weekend. It's my only weekend off until the end of the year. You mentioned that I have a death adder in the Ven show. How do I do that? Are they fairly small? Yeah, I obviously I don't tail the adder. I can show you if you like. Keeping people informed is the best conservation. That's exactly it. You know, people care about what they understand about, and you know, a lot of people actually don't understand that a lot of our animals are in trouble. So, you know, unless they know that our animals need conserving, they're not going to make a difference. And I find that Australians generally do care. You know, like we're more than happy to jump down the throats of people about cutting down the Amazon and palm oil plantations and orangutan conservation. But we have such a terrible track record that we can hardly, you know, throw stones when we live in glass houses. Hang on one sec, I'll pop you down. Here you go, Josh. So this is our male death adder. So here's one of the snakes that we use on display. I can't read your messages while I'm this far away, and I can't get much closer because this fella here is the fastest striking snake on the planet. He can strike back to his own tail, and he can strike from sitting still to extended to back in 0.02 seconds, which the average human blink is 0.04 seconds, so it's pretty quick. But I thought I'll take him out so you can have a look. I might flip the phone over and that way I can show you a better look, eh? Whoop. So this is him. Grumpy old boy. I'd be worried about having an adder, they strike way too fast. Well, they do, but I handle them differently. I'm completely hands-off with adders. So she's just hooked, flopped into a tank, hooked out of a tank, onto the ground. Plenty of people tail them. I just think it's an accident waiting to happen. So, let me straighten that out again. Awesome, yeah, love the desert death adder. Yeah, that girl's a northern. So yeah, the adders you handle slightly differently to other snakes. I do think in a weird way they're probably one of the more dangerous snakes because they're almost completely hands-off and they almost never move. You know, you can have them in a tank and they sit in the same spot for 3 weeks. And the issue with them is a lot of people get them as their first venomous snake because I suppose you don't have to tail them. And I know a lot of people who get lured into a sort of false sense of security. They haven't seen it move for 3 weeks and the water bowl's on the other end, so instead of getting them out to clean, they go, oh, he can't reach me, they get the water bowl, and one day it's just an inch closer and bam. And so I think, yeah, adders are very good snakes. And not that everybody should be keeping venomous snakes, but if you want to keep venomous snakes, adders are interesting. If you like adders, keep adders. But they don't prepare you for other venomous snakes. Their handling skills are different. So, you know, if somebody was really interested in taipans or browns, the top end stuff, adders don't, fix them for that. Saw a video casually picking up a death adder in his hands, not tagged. Do you know what happened to him? No, I don't. I haven't seen it. There's plenty of people, you know, there's videos of people free handling adders, like that boy, and professionals doing it. But like I said, if the snake wants to bite, it's so fast that your reactions can't compete. I find it interesting that every wildlife demo is different in setup. Oh. is different and set up differently. I'm glad you think so. I'm always worried that, you know, obviously worked for other demonstrations companies, and my always fear is, I suppose, that there's only so many different ways you can set up, and I'm like, I hope I don't look like I'm copying so-and-so or being like so-and-so. Ours is a very simple setup, but we're a small business. We're growing all the time. Next year we're on track that I can try and drop a few days at the farm and start doing this closer to full time, because we are busy. But yeah, I'm always a little bit worried. You know, every company uses the Exoterra tanks and black tablecloths, and there's only so many ways you can do it. Am I doing a show in Melbourne? Not currently. I do take bookings in Melbourne. I don't advertise in Melbourne, just because there's so many other companies that do shows down there, and there's a couple of very good ones. So I'm happy being out here. And it's 4 hours to Melbourne, so I do a fair bit of driving. I do 4 hours the other direction into South Australia or north towards Mildura. But yeah, I can do shows in Melbourne if I'm booked for them. They wait for something to pass and hit. Yeah, that's it. They're little venomous landmines. And on top of that, the adders, they've got that little tail, their caudal lure. They put their tail next to their face and it looks like a grub, and they wriggle it. Wait for something to come in and whack. Do I do birthdays? Yeah, I do lots of birthdays. Birthdays are probably the main thing that I do. G'day, John, how are you, mate? Birthdays are probably the main thing that we do. I'll get some lizards out, I suppose. Which are fun. I love doing birthday parties. The benefit of agricultural shows is they have you every year, whereas a birthday party you get once. Your friend Ryan Burke says hi. G'day, Ryan, how are you, mate? There you go. We'll let Spyro out. What are you up to today, Joman? Well, it's Friday night over there. I guess you should be going out and getting on the drinks with your mates. Am I going to get any morph blueies? I would like to get some hypermelanistics. I don't particularly use morphs for shows. The educational content of them's not quite as high. Where did I get my frillies? He's a Darwin phase frilly. He came from the Haberfields, who are breeders out in Tacoma, Melbourne. So very, very good breeders of frillneck lizards. Yeah, I'd like to get hypers just because I think they look nice. But from an educational standpoint, I generally try and keep wild type animals. Excuse me, I'm going to put my glasses back on. But yeah, I wouldn't mind them if I can find them locally. It's a couple of hours to the airport from my place, so I'll go there if I have to. I've actually got to go to the airport in a couple of weeks to pick up a copperhead, which is getting sent down, because we really want to talk about the local species. And of course, the copperhead is one of the main snakes I catch in my area, which is southwest Victoria, all over southern Victoria. The copperhead is pretty much a mainstay. Do you keep any mutation blueies, Josh? Ryan wants to know, what kind of animals do I work with? Lots of reptiles. I have venomous snakes and crocodiles and lizards. We've got a wombat. We've got a Major Mitchell's cockatoo. You might be able to see in the enclosure behind me. Gliders, possums, everything Australian pretty much. I don't describe myself as a reptile person. I like reptiles, birds and mammals. I just like anything that's Australian. I do like animals from overseas, but I just think conservation needs to start in your backyard. You can't start criticising other countries for their land management practices until your own country's doing all right. So lots of Australian stuff, Ryan. And I've got the chicken stand behind me. Where are you travelling to get the snake? Mount Gambier. Yeah, it gets flown down from Mount Gambier, flown down to Mount Gambier Airport from Brisbane. So an hour and a half, an hour and 40 minutes from my house. From Africa? No. Mount Gambier is in Australia. I can only keep reptiles from Australia. We can't bring animals in. Yeah, I've got 3 possible double het larvas. Very cool. Sounds like you've got more disposable income than me. Lots of blues on the way to Amazon. Yeah, I'd like to go have a look at Amazon. I don't, as much as I like Amazon, I don't often buy retail just because it's expensive. Hello.
Sorry, mate.
No, you're all right.
I was just wondering where your venomous snake was.
Oh, I can show you if you like.
Okay, what sort of snake is it?
Oh, I've got a few. I've got
I'll ring you back in a minute.
Hey, going guys, we've got people coming.
Who are you talking to, the camera?
Yeah, because it's quiet, we're doing a bit of a live video.
Oh,
I've got a YouTube channel.
No, you
Um,
at the wrong time.
No, you're
I
alright.
thought you had a koala yesterday.
Pardon?
Did you have a koala yesterday?
You know, I've got a wombat.
I got a wombat. I do walk that wombat.
So the tiger snake probably is my favourite of the ones here.
Yeah, okay. Is that the deadliest one? Aren't they?
Well, no, I've got an eastern brown who's the second most venomous. This guy's number one. Turn around so other people can look at him if you want.
Never been bitten by it?
No, I've never had a venomous bite in my life.
Have you?
Touch wood.
Oh.
I've had, plenty of python bites.
I probably would if I got over there.
He doesn't know the difference with me and you.
Hasn't he?
No, he's just... Snakes bite for two reasons. They bite out of food or fear.
Oh, okay.
Wild snakes don't bite out of food. Food bites happen in captivity where,
It's
let's
like-
say you're cleaning your kid's guinea pig enclosure, you put your hands in the tank, he smells guinea pig, he's going to bite you. That's
He's
a
gonna
food
bite
bite.
you, yeah, well, that's true.
Wild snakes bite out of fear response.
Yeah.
And he's just been handled for so long
Yeah.
that he doesn't have a fear
Fear.
response.
Yeah, well, that's true.
His whole life would have been gentle.
Yeah.
If he'd been
If I
rough
showed
handled,
him- If I showed him I wasn't scared of him, he wouldn't bite me.
he can't tell the difference with you. Like, he can't sense fear. So
Okay.
people, often with pythons, I'll take a snake out and somebody who's nervous will hold and he'll act differently, and they say he can sense that I'm scared. He can't sense that you're scared so much as the fact that when people are scared, they squeeze or they're
Yeah,
shaking.
yeah.
So he doesn't know you're scared. He just knows that you're making him feel uncomfortable.
Okay, cool enough.
Whereas him on the ground, he can't tell if you're terrified or if you're completely
Yeah.
calm.
Yeah, well, that's true. I surely wouldn't put it around my neck, put it that way.
No, but even I wouldn't.
Yeah.
So, like I wear Ariat boots whenever I'm handling
Yeah,
venomous
safety
snakes.
bites.
And, good sturdy jeans.
Yeah. Could they bite through them jeans?
A bite through jeans is possible, but very unlikely.
Yeah,
There's no snake in Australia that can bite through Ariat type boots. Our snakes on a global basis are some of the shortest fangs in the world.
okay.
Just because when I do the Venomous Snake Show, I'll talk about it a bit more extensively, but there's basically a bit of an overlap between fang length and toxicity.
Yeah.
You got to imagine they're designed to bite prey, not to bite people.
Right.
So these guys are so highly venomous, they've never had to evolve big fangs, because like a scratch is enough to do the job. Whereas you compare them to some of the vipers overseas, who are significantly less
Yeah.
venomous,
Yeah.
rather than, if they scratch a mouse, it'll die, but like 100 metres down the road.
Yeah.
Instead of getting more venomous, they've got a better delivery system. So they've got bigger fangs, make sure their venom gets all the way in.
Yeah.
So
So they've only got small fangs, this one.
yeah, the brown snake's smaller again. Brown snake fangs are about 3 millimetres long.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which is, it can almost be dangerous in the other direction. They're so small that some people, like there's cases of people just in the garden getting a prick or a scratch and not knowing they've been bitten by a snake.
That snake, yeah.
Whereas you're bitten by something with, like inch-long fangs in
Yeah.
the United States or something, you're going to know that's happened.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Obviously that's pretty rare, but it happens.
Yeah.
But the short fangs mean that our venoms travel lymphatically through your muscle tissue before
Yeah.
they go through your blood,
Yeah.
which makes our first aid really simple. So the compression bandage works on every Australian snake. So everybody wants to know how to identify snakes. Like I'll have 100 people today come and, how do I tell this and how do I tell that? And it's interesting,
Yeah.
but from a safety standpoint, it doesn't make any difference. You treat all venomous snakes the same, the first aid's the same, and in hospital, they figure out what you've been bitten by. So you don't need to know what it is, and it doesn't make it safer or more dangerous. I suppose people work it up in their minds. Like some people will come and they'll tell me where they live, and I'll say, oh, you've got 3 species of snakes there.
Yeah.
Like, oh, don't tell me that. And I say, well, let's say you've only got space for 100 snakes, whether it's 100 brown snakes or 30 brown snakes, 40 tiger snakes, and 30 copperheads. Still 100 snakes. Medically, they're all the same. The first aid's all the same. Doesn't really make a difference. It just sounds scarier
Yeah.
because there's 3 species.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. As far as safety is concerned, a snake's a snake.
If you get bitten by a snake in the garden, you go to hospital and they don't know what bit you. How do they know what venom?
They do a venom detection test. So basically, they take a swab of where you're bitten. They do have polyvalent as well, which is a universal antivenin. The reason that monovalent is, until very recently, basically used in preference
Yeah.
is antivenin is made out of horse blood, essentially. They inject venom into a horse, the horse gets sick, the horse recovers.
Yeah.
They take his blood, they clean it, and that's antivenin. And the problem with polyvalent is it can treat all snake bites in Australia, but it's essentially a vial of tiger snake antivenin, a vial of brown snake, a vial of black snake, a vial of taipan, all just like mixed in.
Yeah.
So if you get a bite from like him that needs 2 vials of tiger snake antivenin to save you, you're getting like 18 vials of antivenin pumped into your system all up.
Yeah.
So it'll save you, but the side effect, the amount of drugs pumped into your body is much higher.
How long does that take to kill you?
It's impossible to say. Only because you can have 10 people, different stages of health, different weights, different bites, and they'll have different things. If you have a compression bandage on, the chances of death are almost zero. There hasn't been a death since the early 1970s where somebody's come to hospital with a compression bandage on. So if you've had a compression bandage, correct first aid, you get to hospital, you'd be the first person to die in more than 40 years. The deaths that happen, there's 3 deaths a year, are almost always due to incorrect first aid. And very, very rarely people having allergic reactions, which is often people who have already had a bite before in their lives, like snake catchers, who are bitten and their body basically goes into meltdown. It's not the venom, it's your allergic reaction that can be more dangerous. What do you think, guys?
What one you got?
I've got a king brown here today. I can show you here.
You were busy yesterday,
Flat out.
I was over there in that roller coaster and I looked over a few times.
Yeah, you'd be sick of hearing me.
I can't
I always feel bad for the stalls around me during the shows.
Do you?
Yeah,
well, I can't hear you.
Oh, that's alright. Then I talk so much that I talk so much and I think, the stalls around me must be sick of my voice by the end of the day.
You've got to get him out with that.
Oh, only his head's right next to his tail, so there's no safe place to pick him up from. So this fella's a king brown snake. He's a St. George king brown, or mulga is a better name because he's actually, if you're bitten by him, you need black snake antivenin, not brown snake antivenin. It just happens that he's a brown coloured snake. But as far as his family goes, he's in the black snake family. So these guys are probably the largest venomous snake in Australia. Coastal ties can get slightly longer, but they don't have the bulk. They're not as heavy as this guy. So he's probably fully grown just based on where he comes from. St. George in Queensland, they're smaller, but it's no different, like go to South Korea and people are shorter than if you go to Kenya. We're all people, just local variations. But like top end, like Darwin, Kununurra, top end of Western Australia, they've caught browns, king browns, up over the 3 metre mark. And they've got the highest venom yield of any snake in the country. So up to 150 milligrams of venom in a bite, whereas a tiger snake's got a maximum of about 40. So huge amounts of venom.
Big difference, isn't it?
Yeah, but significantly less venomous. One of the things I talk about is like their diet is the main thing that determines how venomous they are to people. So all the mouse-eating species are going to be more venomous to people because they eat mammals, so their venom works on mammals. This guy's a snake eater, so it's a bite that sucks. Like bites from these guys, you often lose the finger that's bitten because they've got a necrotic aspect. But the chances of death from one of these guys, like with modern medicine, is very, very low. Most of the deaths that happen in Australia are from brown snakes, and tiger snakes are number 2. Every now and then there's one from the coastal tie.
They're poisonous, aren't they?
Yeah, they're poisonous. There hasn't been a death from a red belly since we've had the ability to determine what you're bitten by. Same thing, they're a reptile eater and a frog eater. So before medicine came in, they were certainly a concern. They still account for 16% of snake bites, red belly. So it's not that they don't bite people. It's just that they don't have that, I suppose, mammal-specific venom that browns and taipans do. So.
You'd still have to go to hospital, though.
Oh, of course. Yeah. But that's what makes our snakes so much less dangerous than other countries. They can be hugely toxic, but the first aid is very simple. It buys you a longer time because it travels lymphatically. So you've got that, I guess, lag time between a bite and it getting into your bloodstream to get first aid on. Because if you're bitten by something with huge fangs that's going intravenously straight into your bloodstream, it's going to hit you like a ton of bricks, even if it's less venomous than our snakes. We talk about having the most venomous snakes on earth, but it's basically just based on how little venom does it take to kill a mouse in a laboratory. It's got nothing to do with how quickly does the mouse die, could we save the mouse, these sorts of things. So it's an interesting number, but it's not something people should get too wrapped up in as far as toxicity. It's a fun thing to brag about, but that's about it.
And the wombat's in here, is it?
Yeah, the wombat's over the other side. You can have a look at it. Sorry, guys. Whoop. What did I miss? Mason will look after you. Yeah, thank you, guys. Copperheads are a viper or a colubrid. The American copperhead is in the viper family. The Australian copperhead, which is completely unrelated, is an elapid, so closer to cobras and tiger snakes and all. All of our venomous snakes are elapids, with the exception of the brown tree snake and some other mildly venomous things. Oh, somebody's already covered that for me. Elapid. In Oz, copperheads. You guys have got it down pat. King cobra is also a species of elapid. Josh has a python. What kind of python? She's good. Sorry, I can't read in my head. Almost forgot my daughter was getting off the bus. Thank you. No worries, guys. I've got a female Murray. Male, I've got a couple of Murray darlings myself as well, which I want to move outdoors this summer. Not that you're talking to me, but yeah. One of my favourite snakes, Murray darlings. I don't have one here today. This mulga looks like it's about to turn. That mulga that I had before. He's yeah, he's a happy fellow. That being said, you might have seen the video. Are kraits the most toxic venomous snakes out there? No. There's some kraits that are very high up there. The Malayan krait, I believe. The inland tie is the most venomous snake on the planet. The eastern brown's second, and the coastal tie is third. By most counts, tiger snake's fourth. And some people put, I think it's the Malayan krait, up there in the top 10. That being said, information's changing all the time. And there was a new taipan discovered a few years ago, the Western Ranges taipan, or Central Ranges taipan, which hasn't had, or I haven't seen, any toxicity studies published. G'day guys, how are we? Good. Yeah, she's cuddled up in bed, is she?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she loves her bed.
Sitting up here.
A squirrel glider.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so do you know what a sugar glider is?
No, not really.
No, so sugar glider is like a little possum that it can glide from tree to tree. It's got skin from its wrist to its ankles. He's their closest cousin, so they look almost the same, but he's much bigger.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they're endangered in Victoria.
Oh.
So the sugar glider's pretty adaptable in his habits. Like we clear forest, but we replant native gardens and things, and they do all right. Squirrel gliders are pretty well only found in like undisturbed forests, so like the Grampians National Park, along the Murray River. Other than that, we've pretty much lost them throughout Victoria. So yeah, a bit sad. Yeah. We got some Jackie dragons in this bottom tank and a baby blue tongue and a ridge-tailed goanna in the other one. You'll have to excuse it's fogging up just from the bit of sunlight coming out for the day because it's so cold.
This girl's scared of snakes.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
Give us 15 minutes. I can get one out. You can have a pat of if you like.
You want a pat? Snake. Why not? A snake. It's first, ain't it? Look.
I'll get one out now if you like.
I'm living
Hold
in
tight, guys.
Australia
You can watch
now,
the port.
And I was telling Steve, oh, I haven't seen any animals.
She hasn't
Oh, we
seen
can. Haven't seen any animals. We can fix that.
And now I'm here, look.
Do you want a little snake or a big snake?
No,
Big snake.
Big snake.
She hasn't seen any snakes or any spiders.
You have the snakes in the back?
Yeah.
No.
Bags is the best way to move them. Because, like, if you find a snake in the bush, he's not lounged out in the grass where all the birds and things can see him. He's hiding under a rock or a log, somewhere confined and dark.
Yeah.
So they feel safer being moved in bags. Obviously, they don't live in bags. They live in big wooden enclosures. They don't.
That's true.
The only thing that...
I don't want to.
Actually, I'll pop him back. I'll get something else out.
He's not going to hurt you.
I'll get out the friendliest snake I have.
Okay.
He's the same weight as this guy, so I grabbed the wrong bag. His name is Big Mac.
And how you are not scared of snakes?
I'm scared of cats. Horrible things. Nobody's ever been scratched by a snake.
Oh my god. No
Do you
way.
want to put it around your neck?
Hang on. I'll set these up here. People can see.
No. What if I die?
What if you die? My insurance company will fix it. No, you'll be alright. Just think to yourself, I am a tree. Spot on. Just put your hand under here.
Just don't touch his head.
Yeah, all by yourself. Make it look easy. I can leave you there for the rest of the day and go back to work.
Take him in the ticket box with you.
Can I touch it?
Yeah.
She won't feel bad.
He won't bite. The only thing is you don't want to like grab him around the face, just gentle and underneath him. So you're basically giving him somewhere to sit.
No, he's gonna take
He's alright. If you put a Labrador through a sausage machine, you'd have Big Mac.
Wow. Oh my god.
She's never
The
seen
first
snakes
time.
before.
Yeah.
The first time
Right, if you
I-
like animals, I'm doing a video over there. Every week I do a video on YouTube on snakes and lizards and Australian wildlife. So
Oh my
you'll probably be on it now. Say hi.
Hi! It's even girl that is a girl of snakes.
Oh, there's lots of people. Australians are more scared of snakes than anybody overseas.
Really?
People overseas don't get bitten by snakes in Australia because you come here and you're careful. People from overseas, they come and they go, I'm not going to stand over there and I'm not going to go through the long grass. Australians go in and we get bitten.
Yeah.
There's his head down there.
Oh yeah, this is. Oh, oh my god. Yeah.
No?
What about the neck?
Oh, the wombat, she's over the other side. It's sleeping in her bed.
Oh, I know you like, do you catch the snakes? Or?
I do catch snakes, but I can't keep snakes that I catch. So if I catch snakes from like somebody's house, I take them out to National Park, let them go. So all these snakes are born in captivity.
Oh my god, it's cute. And what's the name of the?
His name is Big Mac, and there's a Centralian
Big
carp.
Mac? Like
Big
the-
Mac, yeah.
Like the burger?
Like the burger, yeah. He was actually named McDonald just because he comes from the West McDonald Ranges, which is like a mountain range in the desert. And McDonald was a mouthful, so it became Mac. And because I did birthdays, it became Big Mac.
Big Mac.
So, yeah, he's a friendly old boy.
Oh. And do you have like, are those like poison snakes?
Yeah, I've got some venomous snakes.
No.
Danny,
Do we want to see some venomous snakes?
Danny from this town,
Yeah, but just see.
Just see. Of course, you're not gonna pat a venomous snake. I'll get out the tiger snake just because.
down there.
I'll get out the tiger snake just because it's early in the morning and he's the easiest snake for me to deal with.
Oh my
Yeah. If you're gonna get bitten by anything here, it'll be the bird. Well, don't pick her up, but you're welcome to pat her. She won't scratch. It's just because she's so heavy, it's uncomfortable to be like picked up all the time. And while she loves being held, the issue is if I start having people pick her up, every person here today will want to pick up the wombat. So like when we do birthday parties, we hold her, but I guess there's 12 people. But yeah, you're welcome to get pat. So yeah, this is a tiger snake. So he's the 4th most venomous snake in the world.
Maria's like, brown snake.
Yeah, I've got an eastern brown here today, and a king brown, which is actually in the black snake family. But yeah, the eastern brown is the brown snake.
How come he's so timid?
Bendigo, yeah. The main species you'd find there would be the eastern brown. Yeah, he's not quite as relaxed as Tig, but I can get him out. Her out, I should say.
How come he's so timid?
You won't be able to see her in the container. She'll be hiding under a paper. He's just relaxed because he's been handled his whole life. So people have this idea, like obviously venomous snakes are dangerous, but people have this idea that they're mean because they're venomous. His brain is no different to a python's brain. It's just that the consequences of a bite are a lot higher. So any snake, venomous or non-venomous, will bite if it's hurt or if it's scared.
Yeah.
Yes. So
There you go, Maria.
always.
So this is the eastern brown.
So how old
3 or 4 years old.
she?
She's a sub-adult snake. She's on the small side of average. So eastern browns have been measured up to 2.2 meters long. But people get wrapped up in maximum sizes with snakes. But people seem to have this idea that, you know, if tiger snakes get to 6 foot, all tiger snakes are going to get to 6 foot. It's like saying, I met a guy who was 7 foot tall once. How many people get 7 foot tall? They're just like us. You'll have individuals that get bigger and individuals that don't get bigger. And I get called out for like a heap of 6 foot snakes a year, and when I get there, there's a heap of 3 or 4 foot snakes. So, yeah, she's average-ish, on the small end of average, but yeah.
And they like to stay in the creeks and that, don't they?
Well, the other species, the tiger and the copperhead, are usually very associated, especially further north, drier country, associated with waterways. Down here, where it's cooler, they can be found a fair distance from water.
Where I
Browns
live,
are often like dry cropping type country.
where I live,
There's a creek there and there's lots of rats there. And
Yeah, well, this guy's a rat and a mouse eater.
so he would be found near the creek.
Well, it could be found miles and miles away from the creek as well, though. So, like, browns are often found here, like out Horsham, like cropping type country. Wherever you've got crops, you've got rats and mice. So he's not dependent on water the same way tiger snakes and copperheads are, because they eat frogs, especially as babies. So they're usually found close to water. He could be found near the water's edge. He could be found kilometres away from the creek.
It's just like I've got a house,
Yeah,
To put the snake again.
a block,
yeah,
and then the rest of it's just a big
You guys
paddock,
can see
and
that.
it's got the creek through the middle of it.
yeah.
And there's always rats come from there. And
big as
quite
the
often
phone.
we see snakes across the road.
Yeah.
And
Well, yeah. If there's rats there, the odds are there's going to be snakes about.
and the vet seems to think that
That's a red belly black,
it'll be
isn't it?
This one up here, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, in the scheme of the snakes I've got here today, is the least dangerous
Not that
one.
big.
Yeah, I've got a death adder down the bottom there. So.
the vet seems to think there's brown snakes in my area.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Bendigo is mostly brown snake habitat.
Do they just nip and just let go? of
Yeah.
an
So a
animal?
bite in the wild is going to be a fear bite. So bites are either food bites or fear bites. A food bite is something on a mouse. So he's going to bite and basically hold on and inject venom. Whereas a bite out of fear is biting and letting go because he wants whatever it is to bugger off. That being said, he can still inject venom with that bite. So, but yeah, in the wild, it's very rare to have a snake bite and hold on. Unless you're a snake catcher and you're actually holding him by the tail and he's pissed off and he's got no way to get away. But yeah, like walking through the bush, he's not going to bite and cling on for dear life. And his goal is to get you to go away.
Is that quite often when the brown snakes bite a cat and then just let go?
Yeah, yeah. Cats and dogs are a little bit different sometimes. And if a cat's got a snake in its mouth, it can't get away. It's going to receive multiple bites. Jack Russells are terrible for it. You know, they're picking up a dog, they're shaking it. If it doesn't get bitten once, they get bitten 12 times. Which is frankly the dog's fault. Not very often, just they're furry. And the puncture marks can be, like the Eastern Brown's fangs are 3 millimeters long. Puncture marks can be a pinprick. So it's not that important to find the puncture marks, and animals are treated with polyvalent, which is universal antivenin, because you can't do a swab on the bite site because they're covered in hair. So one of my dogs was bitten by a tiger snake recently, 2 years ago now, and yeah, treated with polyvalent is what vets usually stock.
Right. So when they do the test on it, and like they can do a test on it on the blood, and it doesn't come up with the venom for it, is it automatically treated as a?
Yeah, so when they do the test is done on the skin with the person. Like if you're bitten, they take a swab on the skin where you're bitten.
Well, the vet took a blood test and then put it under her arm, and she says if it goes solid,
Yeah.
it's been bitten by a brown snake.
Okay.
But it didn't go solid.
Yeah.
And my cat didn't die.
Cats do have a roughly 60% survival rate without treatment. Dogs have like a less than 30% survival rate. So it's not to say that it wasn't bitten, but if the vet says there was no sign of it, the vet would know better than me. I know snakes, I can't tell you about
Now, the
the
breeders,
science of blood in cats.
the breeders that are crossbreeding snakes to get the iridescent colours and
Yeah.
stuff like that, can that be dangerous because...
No, so, like, this girl here's albino. Boy's albino. So, you mean dangerous as in, like, creating new snakes or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, some snakes can crossbreed, but people get wrapped up in it. So, this guy here is a carpet python. He's a Darwin carpet python, to be specific.
Oh,
So, the first ever albino carpet python found was a Darwin carpet python. It's been the only albino carpet python found. And today you can buy albino Centralian carpet pythons and albino Murray-Darling carpet pythons, but they've all got Darwin carpet python in them. They've crossed that. So yeah, you can cross those, but you're crossing a Darwin carpet with a coastal carpet. You can't cross that with a Roma python. It's too far apart. So you couldn't cross a tiger snake and a brown snake. You couldn't cross a venomous snake and a python. Not possible. So
So who's
arguably you
going?
could say it's dangerous for conservation. Let's say I'm trying to collect snakes that I can breed up so that if they become endangered in the wild, we can release them. And I'm buying snakes that I'm told are pure something, and they're crossbreds,
Yeah.
then arguably it could be dangerous for the snake's conservation. You know, that animal is now no use to be released into the wild. Not that private animals are going to be used to release in the wild, but for zoos and things like this. But as far as, yeah, dangerous to human health, none of the venomous species can cross with any of the non-venomous species. They're so far unrelated. Human beings are about as closely related to like the little marmoset monkeys as brown snakes are to pythons. It's just their body shape has stayed very similar, so they haven't changed as much.
Don't you think about buying snakes or not?
I got a reptile license. I used to have all my snakes until I had my little girl.
But don't buy snakes with not with a 3-year-old kid.
Yeah, it's obviously, yeah, kids are a tricky one. Like, I have a 1-year-old daughter and I do a lot of kindergartens. And you can have a pat before I get back if you like, guys. And I'm based out in Hamilton, so, you know, the kids that I'm talking with will find snakes at home. And I'll have some people say, oh, should you be letting them pat snakes in case they see a snake at the farm? And I understand that, but I guess the flip side of it is, you know, should you let them pat grandma's dog in case they go and pat a mean dog tied up at the shopping centre? And the way that I cover it with kids, I've worked for other companies that sort of tried to teach this is a dangerous snake and that's not a dangerous snake. And best way I've got that message across to kids, when they're all sitting down in a kindergarten, I say, who's got a dog at home? They'll put their hands up. I say, well, you know, your dogs are friendly, yada yada. But if you saw a strange dog at the park, would you go and pat it? And most kids understand that difference. You can't pat a strange dog. I say, well, my snakes are pets, but it means we can pat mine. Could you pat a snake that's not a pet? Pet snake, not pet snake, is a much simpler message than safe snake, dangerous snake. Which, in Victoria, we only have venomous species down here anyway. But yeah, I do understand the concern with kids and reptiles, but like I said, we stopped keeping reptiles because of the worry that they're going to go out and touch wild reptiles. We're going to have to stop kids patting dogs in case they pat mean dogs, and not put kids on nice broke horses in case they end up bronc riders. Like,
Yeah, but this kid doesn't really listen.
yeah.
That I'm talking about, so it is not viable to bring a snake in. And
Yeah,
I
obviously,
don't
like, you know your kids better than anybody.
When I had my daughter, I gave up all my wildlife caring and snakes
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah, like I've got a young daughter and she's going to grow up around it. So like obviously I'll put a bit of thought in it because she's going to have all these snakes in her house. And we've got
Yeah,
snakes that
you-
are dangerous. and
She's
some aren't
around it
dangerous.
from day one.
Yeah, true.
You don't bring a snake, get the snakes and that in when they were about 4 years old.
Yeah, four is a trickier age where they're
3 or
all
4
gung
years
ho.
old.
A few years older, a few years younger, I suppose, probably. All right.
When he learns to listen, you can, but not
Yeah.
at the moment.
The other thing though is like, and it depends what you want out of your snake. There's plenty of people have snakes on a more display type basis anyway. So, like I know people have really pretty type snakes in locked glass tanks. You know, they clean them and they feed them, but it's not like they take them out and sitting on the couch playing with the children. So it depends what you want out of it as well.
Yeah, but kids,
I prefer snakes that I can pat and handle and interact with.
yeah,
But
kids like to get things out.
yeah, yeah. I just mean if somebody really wanted one and they didn't want to set that precedent, it'd be easy to say, look, we can't pat this snake. It's like the goldfish. Sorry, kid, we can't take the goldfish out and pat it.
What
Um,
amethyst
The
python?
funny cat that used to go fishing. and-
I bet you the fish didn't find it a funny cat. The fish wouldn't have thought it was a funny cat.
He just used to lift it out of
Yeah.
the water and let it
And
go.
this
He
one's
never
in
heard
there.
it.
And thing, he just had an albino
Oh, what I'll do.
cup python.
Sorry, guys, we're starting to get busy, so I'll finish up my video. Everybody can say hello. Basically, I do a YouTube video on wildlife every week, so
G'day.
hello. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll do another video on Wednesday. So have a good one.